I applied for NDLEA. At least I was called for the exam. Till today, I didn't even get.
Your
They didn't flash
results.
me. Not to talk of a message or to know. So then, along the line, I just realized that okay, I've been looking for a job, but I've been doing
Doing
this
something.
something for a very long time, and it's going well for me. Don't you think this is it? But yet, I still do not see myself doing teaching.
Hmm.
Why? Because I feel I have a responsibility that needs a lot of money, and I was feeling that tutoring will not
Provide the
provide
money you
it.
need. Yeah.
You get so, but along the line, it just dawned on you. It is your passion because also I now realize that no matter how sad or angry I am, anything that makes me stand in front of
The sense.
my students,
Hmm.
there's this joy.
Hi everyone, welcome to Starspod, and I'm your host Timotokwe Karim. So my guest today is Solomon Ihanze. I got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Solomon Ihanze is a poet, a microbiologist, a tutor, and a master of ceremony. Yeah, he's a man who wears many hats, a man of timber and caliber, like they would say. Please make welcome my guest today, Solomon Ihanze. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so let's start on a calm note. I want to know, you mentioned that you are a microbiologist.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so what sparked your interest into going to the field of microbiology?
Okay, so actually, this is a very good question, which can come with a story behind it.
I'm here
Okay,
for the
good.
story.
So it was that was 2000 and 2007. I think I was in SS1 then. So my dad called before he died. He just called me one day and said, "Young man, what do you want to do?" So I told him, I said I want to be an actor. So he was like, "Guy, I'm giving you 1 week. Go and think of something else."
So
So
he did not approve you
he didn't,
becoming an
yes,
actor.
he didn't approve that. So after 1 week, I came back. He said, "Okay, I believe you have something now." So I said, "Yes, I want to be a footballer." So he looked at me and said, "This guy, what did he, what's the problem? Is that what?" So,
Yeah.
I to a point I realized that what our parents usually need then are courses like, medicine, courses like law,
Law.
engineering. So I just came by and said, "Okay, dad, I think I know what I want to do now." So he said, "What?" I said, "I want to be a medical doctor." So he was like, "Yeah, this is what I want, this and that." So that was it. Along the line, he died.
Wow.
So when he died, that was 2009, that was the year he died. So when he died, and being the first son, and also still very, very young, looking at my mom and our financial capability as of that time. So I had to have a rethink that, come, is it really this medicine, or I should just chase what I like all these things seems is no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but to an extent, I was also not bad in school. I was doing well. At least I should be a little bit above average. I'm not that best, but I was still trying. So I said, okay, fine. Maybe I will just sit down and think and see what is best for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I prayed in my heart that, God, okay, this thing, I want to know if it's medicine. I don't want to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, just tell me. And really, I think my prayer was answered.
Answered,
And
yeah.
how? Now another story. So one morning or one day like that, I was playing football in the street because I
You
love,
were going back to your football passion.
yeah, my football passion. And then when I play football, when there's anybody who gets injured, I'm always like that first person
Mm.
to want to treat, want to, bring your
Your
leg, bring
medicine
water,
dream is all,
my,
everything is just
like
entering.
everything. I'm just trying to, let's see, like, let me just see
Okay.
which one. So one that day, while we were playing football, I saw this crowd of people coming. So we had to stop because we don't know, it was my area there at
Mm.
Silasa. So we had to stop because we know the kind of area we live in. So we should be cautious of what's going
Your
on.
environment,
So
yeah.
so we had to stop. Then when they came close, we noticed that they were carrying one man. And what I saw a knife standing in the man's eye. He was stabbed a knife. And The knife was not removed, it was there. So they were rushing him to the hospital. So the people around him crying were his family members. I think he engaged in a fight with someone.
Fight.
So when I saw it, should I use the word, I fainted. I couldn't
The sight
I couldn't behold
is
the sight. So it was like when I gained consciousness, I asked myself, guy, if you be the doctor, and I like this, you go. So then I knew that I don't think it is far more, than saying you want to be a medical doctor. There
doctor,
are other
yeah.
things. So as of that time, being a science student, I have loved science already, and I was so good in biology. So I looked at it. I said, okay, maybe I will just go for, since I want to do anything, even if it's not medicine itself, I can just diversify into any other brand.
Something related.
So I said, okay, I'll go for dentistry. That was how I started chasing dentistry, writing jump. I wrote my first jump, I got nothing. I wrote my second jump, I still got nothing. So that was when if a family member called and said, okay, why don't you just change from this school to this school? Then, but that course you are going for, it is not in this school. This is what they have. So I looked at it. I said, biology, biology. I'm good in biology. I have gone for competitions in secondary school, coming back with first position, biology strictly. That's this jet club and whatsoever they call
Yeah,
it then.
yes,
So
yes.
I said, okay, let me just do microbiology without even knowing what
Microbiology entails, yeah.
entails, you get. So I just did the pursuit and once I got it. So it was even when I went into it and so this is what it means: microorganisms, bacteria, viruses. And also to a point, I fell in love with it too. It was because working in the lab, using microscopes and some other things that are needed, putting on your
You feel
lab
like
coat. So I
what
still feel
was the who is the biggest person in the field of
person.
microbiology that you who's the
Okay,
biggest person?
yeah, Louis Pasteur.
So while in the lab, you
Yeah,
are seeing yourself like, okay,
I'm seeing
I
myself
can
like
create some things
I
that
can
will
create
just
something. I
eradicate
can.
some
Yes, I'm
diseases.
telling you. So in fact, even when I did my industrial training, I did it in an hospital. And funny enough, as of that time, I was like, if not the best or second to the best during that IT period. Because, you know, when you love something,
Yeah,
you
you do
tend
it
to
seamlessly.
seamlessly. So I can remember it was not really difficult for me to start getting blood from patients, to get samples was not hard to do. So to a point, our lab technician was already giving me tasks to take. So and any assignment, student, my colleagues comes to me, I explain. So like I was, you get. But when I finished everything like on my own self, to a point I realized that really be
Biology,
microbiology.
but that was the story was what brought you
Yeah,
into
that was what brought me
microbiology.
into
So how
microbiology.
did
Yeah.
your passion for microbiology transition into you becoming a tutor?
Okay, fine. Now, being a tutor was something I just realized recently that it has been with me right from the onset. You see, there's this set of people whereby I feel I belong, where we just have a lot of things that we feel we can do. You get.
Yeah.
Uh, if I'm to say more, I sing too. I play drum set in churches, and so I'm into music. So and that thing.
If I should count it, you have like 10 things you
I'm
mentioned that
telling
you're
you, and that
actually
thing,
doing now.
sincerely, that thing to a point made me confused of what to do. There was a time also that I felt it's music. I have a song I record which is in my phone. There was a time I said it's music.
This is what
I
I'm doing.
like this is what I want to do. Like this is where the money is. You get. And also being someone who is from a Christian home too, there was also a time like, should I do secular like Fireboy? Should
Should
I
I
do
become
gospel?
Nathaniel Bassey
All those
Achake?
so all those things were there. Like I was just everywhere. It's just like that gift. I can do like more.
You can
I can
diversify.
diversify.
Yeah.
So at a point, I was confused. Like I don't really know. Now, but one thing I realized about teaching was that I realized that it was fate that brought me into teaching. It was not something I really want to do. So I was saying something. I said it was even recently I realized that I have been teaching for a very long
Long
time,
time,
and I
yeah.
don't even know that that's my path. Now, why did I say so? When I was in secondary school, my first paying job was teaching. My neighbor,
While you were still in
while I
secondary
was still in
school.
secondary school, my neighbor just called me one day, said, because in my compound, then there's this elderly man that calls me professor. I don't know why.
You were the star boy.
Like exactly, those compound where you have a lot of kids that were not
Yeah.
really serious, but there's
Mhm.
this yeah, solo, this one, the mother will finish. I was kind of different
Yeah.
due to the kind of upbringing I
That you
have from my
add.
mom. I had,
Mhm.
so I was a bit different, and I still read my books. They know sometimes and all of that. So the man calls me professor. Then there's this my neighbor. Then the woman just called me one day. Say, prof, well, please, can I be giving you 1,000 naira? Just be
Uh-uh.
coaching my daughter for me. What is there? She was in primary 2 or 3 as of that time, and that was how I started. I'll come back from school, I will wait for her when she comes
Comes
back,
back.
start the class. That was my first,
Paying
paying
job.
job as a teacher while I was in secondary school. So after secondary school, after WAEC, the only job that I know is teaching.
Is teaching.
So I just went into
I think
just
that's something common with maybe
with,
all
yes, SSC,
Nigerians.
Nigeria
SSC, like
SSC,
any
yes,
school can
yes,
take you.
any school can. So when I just when
Sorry,
I
not any school,
that,
not
yes,
all
that's true.
schools.
Not all schools.
Some
Yes, that's true.
schools,
Some schools,
yeah.
that's true. We need
Mm.
to. So, so when I submitted CVs to some schools, and a particular school called me. I went there. They brought out their, question paper. I had to start solving math, English, and all of that. So when I was done, I knew that except if they don't want me,
In that
in that
school,
school,
yeah.
so I knew I would get it. Cause so really, the next day I was called, and what the man told me before I wrote that exam, that was he wants to employ me into basic 3.
Okay.
That he also need a teacher in basic 6. But the basic 6, there's a lady taking it already.
They,
So the
yeah.
lady is supposed to take basic 3. She's the one taking the basic 6 for
Six,
me. So
okay.
he wants me. So he now said, depending on how my grade will be in
Mm-hmm.
that
Exam,
test, in
yeah.
that exam. So I said, okay. So when he called me, I went to his office. He was like, guy, you know what? This term is almost done. You will continue this basic 3, but after this term, you are going to that basic 6 because what you've done. So I said, okay, no problem. So I started with the basic 3. Then after that term, then moved to basic
Basic
6
six, yeah.
as someone who just left, secondary school. So, and it was something that I was doing it with passion. I was doing it very well to a point that, the man had to commend me once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth was, I see myself doing it, something also like just the hustle
Ozzy.
you get. So after that, I left that school due to find money,
Mm,
salary and all of
yeah.
that. So I went to another school. So I was in that other school going for tutorials in the evening, preparing for jam.
Jam, yeah.
So that was the process before
For
I
you.
gained admission.
After
But
school, why did you think it is teaching I want to do? Is
okay,
it because it's something you've been doing, or because you felt this is the easy thing to do?
no, let me put it this way. I won't say after school. I won't say after service because that was
Okay.
when everything dawned on me like guy.
Yeah.
So during my service year, when it was like 2 months for me to leave,
Mm.
so I started thinking, and the thought of it started, weighing me down. Like, guy, you are the first son, you have siblings, your mom is a widow, and Nigeria looking for, job and all of that. Because I don't know, I have this phobia for looking for jobs. I don't know, right
Mm-hmm.
from time, I just have that phobia. So I just prayed. I said, God, just help me. Just I don't know what I want to do, but just lead me. Just lead me. Anything that if it's the job, just bring in my
Me.
way without stress. So then to an extent, I had this conviction in me that I will teach. Let's say, telling
Based on
yourself,
what you've done,
yeah,
yeah.
based on what I've been doing, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
teach before the main thing. So it's not just be like I'm not doing anything. I'm only looking for
Before,
jobs.
I think that's what most graduates do.
Graduates usually do, yeah.
You teach, then you are
Yeah,
looking
looking
for the
for
company that you
the
really want to
company,
work.
exactly. So that was the plan
Okay.
actually. So when I came back from service, I started looking for schools. I started going around, and because of what I feel I wanted, I was not going for those small kind of schools. I was going for big schools.
Mm.
There was one, I don't know if I
Where the
can,
money
where the
was.
money was. Let me quickly tell you one story. So there was this school I went to. A friend of mine, no, I think a church member told me about the school because he teaches in the school, the primary section of it. Said it's a big school around Surulere. So I went there. I submitted my CV and they called me. So when I got there around let's say 8 a.m. in the morning, I was told to sit at the reception. I sat there till like 12 p.m.
Wow.
So when they
They
will
were
come,
testing your patience.
God bless you. That was what they said. So when they come and say, yeah, you passed the first test. I said, what test is that? I said, endurance
Patience.
test. Say, because you know the kids, you need to. I said, okay, fine. What next? They said, the exam itself.
Hmm.
So they took me to one empty room. I wrote the exam, and the woman said, if you will do well, we'll call you. If you did not receive our call,
Meaning you didn't do
meaning you
well.
didn't do well. So I
Hmm.
said, no problem. I got there. I was even expecting those. Since I was applying for a science teacher, I was expecting biology, chemistry, all of that. But I saw math, English, verbal, all those. So I
Mm-hmm.
did, and I left. So that's the following morning. Very early they called. So I went back. I said I did well. That I also need to do micro teaching now
Yeah, to see, to
to
test
see.
how
So
good
on
you are
that
in
micro
class.
teaching, I didn't do well because the principal, this one, that they were just there, no student at all. So I started missing words together, but I just tried to do one or two sharp. So when I was done, and I said, okay, they will collect me, but let me go and see the boss herself in her office.
To talk
Now,
about the salary.
about the salary. Now that is where the joke comes in. So immediately I opened that door, I entered the office. She saw me, she looked at me from head
So
to toe. You
yeah.
know, if you look at me, I have this small stature kind of. So she just looked at me. The first thing that came out from her was, come, how old are you? I said, ma, I dropped my CV. I don't think this question is needed
Mm-hmm.
to my CV. So I asked, bosses now. So it was like, tell me, well. So I said, okay. I told her my age as of that time. Said, yeah, that have I seen our SS3 students? I said, yes. And really, they were big,
Hmm.
So I said, yes, I've seen them. So she said, can you handle them? Can you control them? I said, ma, you are not paying me. You are not paying me for my size. You are
You're
paying
paying me
me
for
for
what I
what is
have
here.
upstairs.
So then I like the way you speak, but this one, teaching is different from. I said, ma, let's talk about
How
the
much will
salary.
you
How
pay me
much?
first?
We talked about the salary. Then the next thing said, see, come, I want you to start with basic six before you go to. I just have to tell her that I'm not doing that. I want second. You can't demote me. I
Because of
have
your
stature.
stature.
I have taught in primary schools
Mm.
before now. I want to go into secondary. So that was how that one ended.
Ended, yeah.
Yes. So I started going around. Now, how did I go into tutoring? So while I was going around, I have walked around my area looking for a school. I didn't get any, so I was going home. Then I met a childhood friend. We played together, we studied together
Mm-hmm.
before I gained admission.
Mission,
So
yeah.
I think he finished before me or something. So he just started his tutorial center in that my area. So when he saw me, he was like, when did you come back? I told him. He said, where am I coming from? I also explained to
Mm.
him. He said, guy, why don't you just start with tutorial first? At least tutorial, you don't need to wait, monthly.
Mm-hmm.
You do it per
Weekly.
hour.
Yeah, okay, per hour.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you are teaching for 1 hour, depending on the amount they pay, you get your money for that 1 hour. If it is 2 hours, if
you
you
get
have the
it.
strength to teach for 4 hours, maybe
Mm.
biology, 2 hours, chemistry, you get your money. So if you feel you trust the person enough to gather the money
Till
for you
month
till
end.
month end,
Mm.
anyone is. So I said, okay, fine. I started working with him. It was going on well. He himself helped me to get somewhere else. Since it's per hour, so I can
Mm-hmm.
just teach a leave, and so
Teach
I
here.
got another place. Then also myself, I sourced for other places
This was all after service.
all after
Yeah.
service. So I sourced for other places too. Now, from there, the name started going. I
Mm.
started getting referrals. Like, let's say you have a tutorial, I have a tutorial, and I need a biology tutor. I'm like, but do you have
Okay.
a biology? He said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's this guy. And so that was how the referrals started coming in. I started receiving calls. I started. So that's just 2 months of me starting tutorial after
Tutorial.
my service.
Mm.
I was already teaching close to 8 tutorial centers.
That's money. You ain't money.
I was already teaching. You see, one thing is, yes, it's money, but we should also look at the transport factor too,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
you need to, once you are done here, your
You
next
import
center
here.
might be around, maybe Surulere. So I
Mm.
would quickly need to you get. So that one is there, though there was money in it. I'm not going to lie. So that was what I started doing. Still sourcing for job. I remember submitting. I applied for Nigerian Navy. That one, we should not even go into that
Wait,
one.
you that they did not employ because of your stature in this school.
So I applied for Nigerian Navy, and that one, it was very funny because everything looked like I would get it. Now, not because I wanted to, it was because my uncle has
You had someone that knows someone that
that knows
knows someone
someone that
that knows.
knows something
I know
like
how
that.
it
So
is.
he called and was like, "Guys, since there's no, won't you do?" So I was reluctantly, I was reluctant about it, but I said yes. So it should not look like we want to
You're
help
not
you. If they do,
serious.
you are not serious.
Mm.
So I said yes, but in my heart I was like, "Ah, can I even handle gun? I'm not built to do, but I just probably if I will apply, maybe I will start from being those lieutenants in the office,
Mm.
and that one did not even work. I applied for NDLEA. At least I was called for the exam. Till today, I didn't even get.
Your
They didn't flash
results.
me, not to talk of a message or to know. So I applied for. There was another one I got. I went for that one. It was the salary structure that also made me stop. So then along the line, I just realized that okay, I've been looking for a job, but I've been doing
Doing
this
something.
something for a very long time, and it's going well for me. Don't you think this is it? But yet I still do not see myself doing teaching.
Mm.
Why? Because I feel I have a responsibility that needs a lot of money. You get, and I was feeling that tutoring will not
Provide the
provide
money you
it.
need. Yeah.
You get. So, but along the line, it just maybe you are just seated and it just dawned on you, guy, this is you.
This is what you need to
This is
do.
what
Mm.
this is your passion. Because also I now realize that no matter how sad or angry I am, anything that makes me stand in front of
The sense.
my students,
Mm.
there's
Joy. It's
joy.
actually because you have passion for it, and that brings me to the next question. That
Yeah.
ever since you started till now, what has been the most rewarding part of your teaching career?
Yeah, the most rewarding part. Yeah, the most rewarding part is the compliments I get from students. And sometimes the compliment comes directly, and sometimes the compliment comes from the tutors, the owner of the tutorials themselves.
Centers. Yeah.
So sometimes maybe after jam and students did well, and so they will just send message to the tutorial owners, thank you, please help me,
Special
especially
thanks.
Mr.
Vote of
Solomon.
thanks.
You see that chemistry, that biology. So the guy will just screenshot forward it to
Sent
me.
to you.
So sometimes I can have up to more than 20 compliments. There's even sometimes whereby students that have gained admission. There was one a tutorial now sent to me. The guy is already in 100 level in the uni, and the tutorial now posted my video
Mm-hmm.
while I was teaching in the center. So he posted it on his status. So one of the students saw it. I was like, he commented on, Mr. Solomon is the one that made me understand the chemistry they are teaching us right now in
Currently.
school currently and all of that. So those comments, when I see them, I don't know, the way I feel, it is far beyond the money I
You
receive.
receive, yeah.
It gives me this sense of value, like I am impacting. And I don't know, there's this way I see it, and it's
Mm.
always,
I do understand. And it's very, very nice when you're doing something you love and you're getting all the compliments you
yeah,
deserve. So as a microbiologist, what is that one misconception, that about your field that you often encounter?
that's as a microbiologist, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
That people often say.
yeah, I will tell you. At first, I would say that the last time I worked as a microbiologist was my industrial training
Hmm.
period. Ever since then, I've not worked. But one thing I have always encountered, very funny, but it's actually also true.
Yeah.
So when you tell people, I study microbiology, they're like, that woman department.
Woman.
And it's true. It's a
How's
department
that?
whereby if you were 100 students in that department,
Hmm.
70 are women,
Then the 30.
then the 30 are men. So
But there is no course designed for a particular gender.
that's how they see it. Just like a lady now being in the midst of guys studying engineering. There's this. Should I use the word stigma? There's a way we see it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I saw a tweet on X some days ago. Now it's some final year students. They took pictures.
Yeah.
I think there were just two girls in their midst.
Oh, yes, I saw it too.
Then someone said, you will know you are
It's a
studying
tough course
when
because it's just a lady or two.
good. So people see it that way. So
Mm,
they see that there are some course they see it as a female course, and there are some course they see as a male course.
mm-hmm.
So if you as a male is in that department, they, I don't know, there's this way they look at it that that's a female course you are
I
into.
understand. So, as a
So
tutor, what are the challenges that you've faced on this part?
the challenges are more. There are many.
Just like one
Okay.
striking challenge that you cannot forget.
So one of the challenges is, um I would say, from the tutorial owners themselves. Sometimes they feel that, probably because they're paying you,
Mm-hmm.
they tend to look down on you sometimes. You get, they tend to see you as someone who, like, you are not their level.
Mm.
Come, teach, take, go away. They don't want you to converse with their students, probably fear of you want to take their student from them and all of that. So for me, I feel it's a major, because I have, for me in personal, I have experienced a lot of that. I don't want to go into details.
I get
I
that.
have experienced a lot. Some reasons why I stopped teaching in some tutorial center were things like this. So once I observed that, I'm the type that I don't talk in that kind of scenario. Once you just do the thing one, okay, let me just lock up. You do it again, you just realize I'm not coming anymore. You might put a call through. Probably I will not tell you, okay, this is it, I can. So that's it. So it's just those relationship between tutorial owners and tutor.
So, how do you make your teaching engaging for students who do not really like biology? Because I did not do biology in school,
Yeah,
but I know that some students don't like biology because the notes are bulky. I
bulky.
remember
Yeah.
my friends in science classes then would be like, biology again.
So
Biology, although I hear it's fun,
biology is very fun. You
but I
see,
hear the notes are bulky. So, how do you get students, to be interested in
so
learning
that is
biology?
where my other gift comes in. Being an MC, being a motivational speaker, having the ability to have this sense of humor. I can crack jokes with anything. You get. So what I do is, okay, let me give you a description. So maybe I might be in class now, and while teaching, I cracked one or two jokes and people laugh. So, or let's say maybe when I get to teach a particular set of students for the first time, I introduce myself first and I tell them something. I said, in my class, you will learn, you will unlearn, you will
We
relearn,
learn, like they do say.
and you will laugh. And that alone makes them like, okay. Then, and I said, then from there, I will start. I said, because why I say you will laugh is because I'll always crack jokes that will entice you guys,
Mm-hmm.
that will make you smile, that will make you happy. So, and when I start teaching, I make sure that there are certain things I will say. There's a way I want to explain something that when I explain it in that way, it's going to look funny or sound funny to
To
them.
them,
Then
yeah.
sometimes, okay, let's say sometimes I might be teaching and I'll be like, I want to explain something about animals. I'll say, okay, if you watch Nat Geo White, for example, you will understand what I'm saying. And some people will be like, don't you watch Nat Geo White? They'll say, I say, this is the problem.
Yeah.
People like to watch Z word. If you watch Nat Geo White, you learn this. Z word is not good for you and all of that. So when I do this, then I will now start giving them reasons. Now I will divert a little, give them reasons why I don't. You shouldn't watch Z word. Like those loves there are fake. Those frame tricks. You shoot person, someone the
This one
bullet you
will
fall.
go and meet
So
someone in Calabar.
so all those I just put in all these things. It will be so funny to them.
To
They laugh. It's just
them.
to draw their attention. You get. Then I
Mm-hmm.
also give them instances that this is the reason why I'm doing this is just to let you guys see the class lively, because when the class is boring, you know,
Students tend to get
you
bored.
get they tend to get bored, and that's not the best platform to teach. So you just make it lively, it draws their attention. So what I do is I explain. No, this is what I do when I start my class. I use the first 20-30 minutes. I don't like to dictate, to write the notes on the board
For them.
for them. I just take my marker, I just go to the board, start downloading everything. We've taught all over, so like
It's
it's
on your head,
so just
yeah.
download everything there. Then while they are writing, some people are fast. So while they are writing and while some are done, I start explaining, because at
Explaining.
that time I will have all the time to
Time.
explain, to talk, to crack jokes. So that's how I do
And
it.
I think students get tend to, remember what is explained. So that brings me to the
Yes.
next question. What is that one memorable moment with you and a student that just stood out for you
Okay.
that you cannot forget with one particular
This
that makes you feel, oh, I've impacted a life. I think If this is all I've done,
Yeah.
I've tried.
Okay, yeah, I just remember something. So, there was this day, I think it was this year. There's this student, the dad is a medical doctor. So she came to me and said, "Do you know I caused problem in my house yesterday because of you?" I was like, "What happened?" Said, "You remember what you told us about the venom from snakes?" I said, "Yes, I told you guys that you will only die when you are bitten by a snake. But when you drink the venom from snakes, you won't
You
die."
won't die.
And she said she went home
She told her dad,
and told her dad
who is a
that
medical doctor.
and the man was a lie. That they started asking questions, and I said, your dad is a doctor now. Is she said she stood her ground. That the dad was angry. That, so will you are you going to take Mister this your Mister? She said she stood her ground. That the dad had to like, come. Who
Person.
is this person that has this higher influence than me? You get. So, but she said along the line, I think with the help of some other people, she had to call and Google.
Google, yeah.
They confirmed it, that okay, so what this guy really taught you is, so when she came and she told me all
The respect
the,
he would even went in the
I'm
house,
telling
like,
I'm telling you, yeah. So when she came and she told me about everything, how the whole scenario went, how the dad was like,
who is this
who is
person?
this person? And also, there was a time my sister wrote jam. I had to take her there, so I met a lot of my students. Then I met one who came with the dad. Like the reception I got from the man. See, I don't know. A lot of them they just go home and say a lot. There was other one too. She just came and said, "Please, my mom said I should collect your number." I was like, "Wow, why?" She said, "Because I told her that the way you teach us is kind of
Different.
different." So she said she wants to meet with you. She wants to know you. And
So now
that's,
that, is it that you've started your own tutorial center or you're about to start?
yeah, I'm about to
Okay,
start.
now that you're about to start, what is that thing that made you think, okay, I need to do my own? Okay, I should stop working for other
Okay.
people, or maybe you want to do everything together. But what's that thing that made you think, okay, I need to start on
Okay.
my own?
So the truth is, what makes me feel I want to start is because, to an extent, I feel I have an assignment here. Remember from the story I've said earlier, I've never thought of teaching, and I'm this person. I realized that fate brought me here. There's a reason
When you're on
why I'm
this
here,
path,
why
yeah.
I'm this on this path, and with all the people I have taught and all the commendation I have received, and because even starting a tutorial was also not what I want to do. I felt doing this when the bigger thing like a company comes, but along the line, due to some people who knows me and tutorial owners like, guy, you will do well if you do this thing and all of that, because you have this commanding presence, you have this influence with students. So but for me, my major reason why I want to start my tutorial center is the students themselves. I want to reduce this nonchalant attitude when it comes to learning and reading, because along the line I have realized that, you see, these generations we have, it's just like this topic in biology called evolution. Like, we are evolving. The generation, my generation, I would say, is more, we are smarter compared to the previous ones before mine. And I will also say, with my full chest, if I'm permitted to use that word, that the generation after my, they are
The
also,
Gen Zs,
yeah,
because I
the
think
Gen
you
Zs,
belong to the millennial.
belong to the, yeah. So the Gen Zs, they are very smart, because I have had conversations with some of these guys. What comes out of them, sometimes I'm amazed, but just that they don't use their smartness positively, they tend to use it negatively.
Not all, not
Yeah,
all of
not all,
them. Yeah.
yes, not all. Then also, they I also realize that there's this laziness when it comes to reading. There's this laziness when it comes to studying. They don't want to study, they find it hard, because sometimes they I have a lot of questions, like students sending me message on WhatsApp like, "Mr. Solomon, please, you were teaching the other day, you were trying to explain how to read effectively." So I realized that most of them, when it comes to reading, is either there's this procrastination. That's why I tell them, I said, if you want to be successful as a student, if you can overcome these two things, laziness and procrastination, you will do
You'll be
extremely
fine.
well. You will do well, because that's their problem. They tend to spend their time doing something else, something that pleases their flesh, not something that, yes, now, not something that will
That
stress
that
them.
is how most students are. So consider the fact that you do a lot of things.
Yeah.
What is that strategy that you use to ensure that you maintain a perfect work and life balance?
Okay, so one thing is, first of all, talking about this, my everything. If there is, okay, let me put it this way. For example, now being a tutor, we have like this time when the tutoring job is more just jam period, and so that period I face any other thing that comes then should is either you wait or give it to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
You get, so I tend to face that more now. Then after that period, which is the period we are now, where everywhere seems dry, you only have few students in tutorial centers. Tutorial owners don't even really need
Tutors,
tutors
yeah.
like that because they don't have that student to
Mm-hmm.
pay and all of that. So that's when the other
Things that you
things
do
that I
come
do
in.
now come in. But also along the line, like I said before, all these other things are gradually reducing. They are gradually going. They are gradually fading for giving space for teaching
This
this
particular.
particular one because, like talking, saying currently now, I am even into more of home tutoring, private
Okay.
tutoring. In fact, those other ones I didn't even. It's more of home tutoring now, and also by the grace of God, I also have clients that I teach that stays in the UK. So just do video
And
Zoom
so
and
the money is coming in pounds,
so
pounds sterling.
so so those teaching thing like is really taking over others. So it's
Okay,
like teaching now.
teaching now.
Teaching,
So
yes.
we're going to coming to the end of this show, and we've been serious, serious, serious. Now let's do something fun. Let's play a
Okay.
game, this or that.
Okay.
I like that expression. So online teaching or physical?
Online teaching.
Online teaching. Okay, considering the fact that you had
You
other
know why I
things you
said
wanted
online
to
teaching?
do.
Sorry, you know why I
Mm,
said online teaching?
okay.
It gives more money. Online teaching gives me more money. In
Than
fact,
the
that's
physical
what gives
teaching.
me my money.
No.
That's what gives me my money.
Okay, now tutoring or football because you wanted to become a football one time like that.
It's tutoring now. It's
Hey,
tutoring. It's
that's
tutoring.
amazing. Now, one last fun question: who was your favorite teacher in secondary school?
Yeah, very good question. My favorite teacher in secondary school. My favorite, I even get.
He said, "I even get."
I had to try and reason. Okay, my favorite teacher in secondary school, I will go for my principal then, Mr. Adeshino. We
Okay.
were really not close. We became close in SS3 when he used to be a biology teacher before he became principal. So there was that time he just decided to teach us. So while he was teaching, he noticed that I was biology like
Mm,
and me, I'm this kind of guy that biology, all this one subject or two subjects, brilliant student
mm-hmm.
kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yes, mathematics, the
Yeah,
physics,
no,
but
the
so
biology.
the man noticed it and we became friends. So I will call him. Though I have a lot. That's why I don't know which one to
Which one
call,
to
but I
choose?
will I will call
You
him.
choose him.
I will
So
choose him.
that's good. So thank you so much. We've come to the end of the show, so to
Yeah.
say. Till I come your way again on the next episode, I remain Temitokwe Karim, your favorite host. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. Bye.